It's the difference between having emotions, recognizing them, and being in control of them versus
or being able to process
denying emotions.
She pushes her master in the way that like Ahsoka pushed Anakin.
Whatever kind of peace he was seeking, he didn't find on his own.
No.
Hey friends, we are here tonight to talk about The Acolyte, episodes 1 and 2. New Star Wars content.
We're all about new Star Wars content.
Yeah, we love it.
Yes.
So, we gotta just dive in and talk about.
Yeah, we're just gonna dive in. We're mostly reviewing. If you want to know a synopsis and stuff, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it.
We're not gonna.
If you haven't watched it, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Yeah, we're reviewing. Yeah. And we're gonna pretty much dive on into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, what are you doing here? Get out. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
It's Star Wars.
Hit save. Go watch it and then come back.
And then come right back, friends. Yeah, so we're gonna talk Acolyte, and man, we really loved it. We were really excited. We were really jazzed. I had watched the trailer. He doesn't watch trailers.
I don't.
In case you're wondering, I watched the trailer, and I was so excited when I saw the trailer. I was kind of interested in the Acolyte, like just the title. That made me excited. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, yes, this is the right direction. This is Star Wars. Let's do it. And then to watch the first episode and that her whole like scene in the tavern and everything, I just turned to him and I was like, you just watched the trailer. That was basically the entire trailer. Yeah, there's some other bits that are going to be.
That scene was just so good. This show just absolutely hit the ground running.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. The first thing I said was, that's Trinity. And then
she proceeded to Matrix fight.
For the uninitiated, Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays the Jedi in the first scene. Plays Trinity in the Matrix. Who's like the female lead character.
Yes.
And her, I was reading about it. Her character was inspired by Trinity, so there was a very familiar vibe in the way that she fought, the way that she
like held herself, and like
the way that she held herself, and she just kind of nonchalantly was dodging all of the attacks.
She had the little subtle smile that Trinity has constantly. Like nothing's gonna ruffle her feathers, and she knows what you're doing.
That was really good. I loved that scene. Excellent. Didn't love that a Jedi died, but it does set the stakes for the whole series.
It set the tone.
And it set the tone that this is not going to be the happiest story.
And you know what?
It may end up having a good ending.
Star Wars. It's probably not going to be a happy story.
So like first episode, we start with meeting a young, unknown dark side user of the Force.
Yes.
Who threatens a bunch of civilians and then murders a Jedi in broad daylight. I think not caring that her face is exposed.
Also.
I mean, she wore a mask at the start and it got pulled off, but she didn't care. She just kept going. She didn't try to run away.
I've heard I don't know if it's a complaint or a comment. Maybe both. It's Star Wars. Probably both. Where it was like, can we have a Star Wars where the Jedi don't lose? And it's like, no, that's not the point. But I appreciated that this started off with a Jedi dying, being assassinated by a Sith assassin. But the way that it occurred was because the Jedi was protecting a civilian, which is what Jedis do. So it fit. It wasn't like she got overpowered by this kid.
No.
It wasn't that. She was being...
The way that she died was like a moment of like trickery or deceit, right?
Yeah.
Because she throws a dagger at the bartender.
And then sneaks one in.
Innocent. And then as soon as the Jedi Master Indala turns to stop that dagger, she gets another one to the heart. So it's just like a boom, boom moment.
It felt very Assad Ventress. Yeah. Like that's what she would have done kind of thing. And which part of me was like, I'm proud of you. But also no.
Maybe we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but I object to the idea that the Jedi always lose. Go watch Clone Wars, and you will see 7 seasons of the Jedi winning over and over and over again.
Awesome. But also like,
and then they're betrayed by their army and they lose.
No, it was mostly it was just a
I understand it's someone commenting.
It is a comment. And it was just an interesting point that then this show starts off with the Jedi's being, and confronting their mistakes, and that is always really fascinating to me, because the point of like Jedi can't dwell on bad things. or else the Force becomes corrupted. But bad things still happen in your life. And as humans, you make mistakes. So what do you do with that as a Jedi? Because if you dwell on it, you will fall to the dark side. That's just how the Force works because it's so powerful. But then how do you not be a hypocrite? How do you,
I think that's going to be a theme in this series.
And I'm so excited for
because the background is there are these 4 Jedi Masters. Maybe they weren't Masters at the time. But
they are Masters now.
They're Masters now. They were stationed on Brendok. And Brendok. And there was some kind of tragedy where a family died. We don't know a lot of the details about it.
But there's some betrayal.
As far as they knew, there was one survivor who went into the Jedi Order.
Yes.
Her name is Osha. Or Asha. I think Osha, is that what they're saying?
They've been pronouncing it Osha. But it may be a Han situation.
Yeah, sure. Osha, who went into the Jedi Order.
Yes.
And then, as far as we know from the first scene, went on this murderous rampage through a tavern.
Which bothered me the whole time. Because then when we see Osha later, I'm like, her hair's wrong.
Yeah. Her hair was...
It bothered me. I'm like, her hair's wrong.
Yeah. It was noticeably shorter. I wouldn't say it was like drastically shorter.
It was noticeably shorter, and it was
enough shorter that you could pick it up, but it was also the same.
No. I don't know if they're dreads or braids, and so I'm sorry. Her hair was neat, and the woman in purple, her hair is a little bit messier.
I'm just saying it was close enough that if you're not paying attention to that detail, you could think they were the same person.
I noticed.
I didn't until
the end scene.
You're like, oh. When she had that vision, it was like, oh, she's got a sister. She's got a twin sister.
Yeah, the vision was cool. The vision was creepy. I was like, oh no, because it like totally was straight out of a horror movie.
It
which like,
really
well
was.
done, yo. That was great.
Chasing the monster through the dark and scary
it was
place.
So good. So okay, so this is really good.
Yeah.
And
all of that is to say that all of that is to say one of the themes is how do Jedi deal with their mistakes?
Because we know from the movies, they don't always do it well.
No.
Generally speaking, they run away from their problems. And we have seen in episode 2, we see a Jedi who holed himself up in meditation for 10 years because he won't confront his past.
Yeah.
And that's not the answer, dude. No,
it's not. And it didn't work for him.
It didn't work. When
he was finally confronted by May, who's the twin of Osha.
My philosophy or my theory is
she put poison down in front of him and said, you should drink this. And he did. So that's whatever kind of peace he was seeking, he didn't find on his own.
No. And just for the record, that's kind of falling to the dark side.
Yeah.
That's not canon wise, but like, we all know that was.
I mean, in all practicality,
that was bad. Like, just for all parties involved, that was not good. Okay, so but I'm excited to see Master Soul, because we also find out in episode 2 he was one of the 4 Jedi. He is one of the 4 Jedi that the assassin is after.
Yes,
and he is trying to deal with his mistakes, which he has acknowledged some of his mistakes so far. There seems to be more that he hasn't divulged to us yet.
We do know
he is processing, and he's trying to deal with it appropriately.
Yeah, and we do know that he was the one who took Osha into the Jedi Order.
He took Osha, and
she was his Padawan.
Yes.
Which I don't think maybe it is common that there's like a pre-existing relationship there. We know there was kind of that with Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yes.
Which is the most prominent example
Qui-Gon
we have.
And Anakin. Qui-Gon found Anakin and then wanted to, train him. And then Obi-Wan. I think that... Oh, this may be stepping out. I believe that was similar with Ahsoka.
She was found by Plo
Koon. And they had a very close relationship.
They did, but she wasn't his Padawan. She became Anakin's Padawan.
I think he was one of the ones who had the class of all the littles, like Master Soul was. So I think that kind of relationship had, and before the Padawan stage.
Yeah.
And all that said, that I don't think that's uncommon. Yeah. But I don't know.
We don't have enough examples to say whether it's common or not.
We don't have enough examples.
Not within canon, at least.
Yeah, and so this is really interesting because we don't have a lot of examples. Well, we have a handful of examples of masters whose Padawans have fallen. We have several examples of them not handling it well. Yeah. we have. I think what's more interesting is that we have more examples of Padawans whose masters have fallen,
or Padawans who themselves have fallen,
and kind of their thought process. Yeah. So it's interesting to be seeing the thought process of the master, which is really interesting because for how long we had Yoda with us, he's had several fallen Padawan, and we never really heard his thought process. And he's not the kind of character who I think would ever tell us, which is fine. So it's nice that we are getting somebody who is going to, and his so far with Soul, his character is not. He's not going to explain everything, but he will tell you when it's necessary and when he feels it's important, which is good. Because I think that's often lacking among Jedi.
Yeah, and just speaking of him as a character, I really enjoyed his kind of like level of serenity that he brought. Yeah, because a lot of the other characters seem like they're not as in control of their emotions as you might expect from a Jedi.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between serenity and peace and stoic. Like Plo Koon has a serenity and a peace, and Yoda as well, which is still emotional and still has ups and downs. It's not a complete calm, but there is a method of like, okay, when problems arise, this is how we deal with it kind of process that you can tell they're going through. And then there's kind of the more stoic Jedi who are just like, that's a feeling, push that down, don't deal with it.
Like Mace Windu would be in that camp.
He would be in that, and Obi-Wan to an extent, young Obi-Wan, I think to an extent. Older Obi-Wan seems to be more at peace.
Yeah.
He seems to be
I think it's the difference between having emotions, recognizing them, and being in control of them versus
or being able to process
denying emotions.
Yes. And I think we see a bit of that with Yoda in the prequels, where he is recognizing there's a lot of turmoil going on and I actually have to process this. I can't just ignore it or wait to see what happens or whatever, push it off on somebody else, which I think he had defaulted to. I don't think that's too far. I don't think that's saying too much there. Anyway, so we're really excited to have Jedi with emotions. Basically, is what we're saying. We're really excited about it. We're really excited. I'm really excited to just see this team dynamic because I'm already really excited about this team dynamic. It's very exciting. I'm excited to see more costumes and more sets because it is all beautiful, just eye candy, and all very Star Wars. You just feel like this is Star Wars, and it's High Republic, but it's not
a different era.
Yeah, it's High Republic, which is very fun. It's also very fun to see aesthetically that this High Republic is not the pristine, shiny that the prequel era has.
No, it's not.
Which is like, where did that come from? Like so there was a philosophy change there.
Yeah.
A political change of like, fix everything up, everything's okay. Like we have to be pretty.
A major concern that the Jedi had was, what are their political enemies going to do with this information?
Yes.
That apparently a former member of their order has murdered a Jedi.
Yeah.
And so there's less of a concern about like, we need to find this person and
do the right thing.
Either, the concern is not we need to dispense justice. The concern is, what's this going to look like?
Yeah.
And that's a very different
it's interesting
Jedi
that's
order
already
than we see in in the prequel era and the Clone Wars era.
And and in the prequels era and Clone War era, they are not even considering that they have opponents. They are just doing the justice but not even according to the Jedi. They're dispensing justice according to the Republic. And it's always the default is the Republic, not the Jedi Order, not the Council, not their standards or their beliefs, but the Republic, or which just code for the Empire.
And we'll see how that part of it plays out.
So I'm excited for that.
Who's your favorite character so far?
The Padawan. What's her name? Not Jackie. Jackie? It's like
Jackie. Yeah, Jackie.
And because she's Data. Like she's Data.
Yeah,
like,
very strong.
She's got a little bit more spunk because she's a teenage girl, so she's gonna have more spunk. But she's very like just her delivery and her
almost a deadpan delivery of very humorous lines.
Yes, but also like she knows she's joking, so there's a little bit like not, but like she's not the comic relief,
she's not.
Like she's treading that Data line where Data was not necessarily the comic relief, though he could be, and so I'm really enjoying that she's fitting that position of the Padawan. She's also she's kind of pushes her master in the way that like Ahsoka pushed Anakin, that we got to see in Clone Wars and stuff, and that we saw that not a lot of other Padawans were doing with their masters at the time. Yeah. So it's a really fun dynamic to see. I like Yord.
Yord was great.
Yord was great. I love him as kind of, he's the Anakin character who's just a little bit brash. He's a little bit a little too fast, a little too ready to jump in.
Yeah.
And that's
delightful. A very strong desire to be taken seriously.
Such a dude. I love it. He's such a dude.
Yeah, he's like a college guy.
He totally is.
Wants the confidence that he has not yet achieved.
He wants to be a grown up.
Yeah.
I'm a grown up dad. And come on.
The guys out there, we've all been that guy. We have. Every single one of us.
And if you think
you're
not,
you are
that guy.
You are that guy.
Yeah. And we love you, and it's going to be fine. You are a grown up, and
it's okay.
You're a man. It's all right. So I'm really excited, and just his wanting to be confident matched with Osha's. She's confident.
Yeah.
She's there and she's ready to party, and she's not pulling any punches. Like, I love that, and it's really fun to see that in a young person.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't typically, this is weird. You don't see that in female characters this young, typically, in stories. You don't quite see that until 30s, 40s. That's when they're like, oh, I've lived long enough, I have confidence. I don't know why they suddenly get old. But she has made such drastic choices and had so much trauma, really, in her life that she has processed. And she is like, no, I do grieve my family, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I left the Jedi Order. That was my choice. And I'm okay with that. You need to be okay with it too. So that's really refreshing, that she's really confident. And the thing that she's not confident about is her sister okay?
Yeah.
Like, what happened that my sister is this? Like that is really, really exciting. And I'm going to say it out loud on the internet. She's reminding me of Rey in all of the best ways. And I am so excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. I think, I had a tough time picking a favorite. I'm still having a tough time picking a favorite character.
Which is why he had me go first. And I have not talked about all of the characters, except for Pip. We love that
Pip
there's
great,
a new
I don't think I can pick a character that doesn't actually talk.
He doesn't talk.
I think I would land on Osha being my favorite character.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One, I really like the underdog story, and she's very much the underdog in this story. She's the one who is weakest in the Force. Mm-hmm. We see her struggle to use the Force, which was kind of my first clue that like maybe she isn't the one who did this in some way.
Because, well, you also said like maybe she can only do it when she's angry.
Right. So my thinking was like maybe she has some kind of a blocker for using the Force, or maybe
which is sometimes even Sith.
One of the things I said that as we're watching is this like a Moon Knight situation where like she's got a suppressed personality that's taking over and going on these crazy assassination missions.
That's what I thought, because then I thought of KOTOR 2. I think it's KOTOR 2, where that happens, and I'm just like, oh no.
like just the angle that she has in the story, where there's a chance for huge character growth, huge potential power up, and also just the fact that the actress is playing two characters who are so different and she is nailing it.
I'm so excited for her.
She did a phenomenal job, and
She's
I have to give a lot of recognition to that.
She's great.
She did so well playing.
You're doing well.
Yeah,
we're excited.
Yeah.
So she's that. Yeah, that was definitely really fun to realize that it's
the villain and the protagonist are the same
person, and girl,
yeah,
so that's just, it hit all the good things for us. Really excited. I think something I'm a little nervous about. I'm not worried about it yet. Where it's only episode 2, it's fine. I'm not worried about it yet. Is that I keep thinking of all the potential of what could happen and what is going to happen, and I don't want to set myself up for disappointment. Because I'm thinking of all of the like lore and all of the legends continuity and just all of these other stories and things that are potentially could be worked in or could happen. And if those things don't happen, I don't want to set myself up for disappointment. Hello, Mephisto WandaVision. I don't want to do that to myself.
Quicksilver and
WandaVision. Just no. But also, there's so much potential here that I'm so excited. So I'm really, really excited about that. And yeah, this week's going to feel really long.
Yeah.
It's really all I can say.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, I think overall, if we were going to score this out of a 10 after 2 episodes, I'm at like a 9. I thought this was phenomenal. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. A lot of times we're watching shows together, I have trouble like staying alert and staying awake just because.
Not a problem today.
Yeah, not a problem at all. I was hooked from the get go.
Yes, you were.
And I just want to see more.
Yeah, I am
also
too.
I want to meet this Sith guy. I don't know if he's the master or the apprentice or what he's trying to do, but
yeah, and
seeing an ominous villain in the distance lighting up a red lightsaber and speaking with a somewhat altered mechanically voice.
Just so many things.
Like, I want to see who this guy is.
I think that's the area where I'm most concerned for myself, not for the show. Show's doing great. I'm concerned for myself because my wheels are spinning about who is this guy? What are the implications of this era? Like I'm seriously like working through timelines and be like, okay, so if Sidious is this old, and that means he was alive for this long, and then his master is this old, and that means he was, and I'm already like trying to work backwards down the timeline, trying to be like, do we know? And just that's not healthy, first of all, and so I need to calm down and just watch the show and enjoy it, and that's really hard for me. I'm not a Jedi. I am not patient. So I'm really excited to see Osha. I'm also really excited about Osha because she is in this really unique position that we haven't really seen in Star Wars until the sequels we did, of a person who is inside and outside. Most of the time in Star Wars, we have an insider who's a Jedi, and we have an outsider. So we have like Luke and Han. We have
Anakin and
Padme or whatever. Yeah. But then in the sequels, we have Leia, who was both, and which is just really fun. That she knew both sides of being inside and outside, and so now we have that with Osha. She's inside and outside. She knows both. She's lived in both worlds, and I'm kind of excited for, even though she's very confident right now, I'm a little bit excited for her to be like, where do I fit? Do I actually fit in here? Do I fit in this place? Like, where is home for me? Because I feel like that's coming up because this is going to be a family problem and this is going to be a family issue because we don't know what the event was yet. Yeah. There was a big event. There was something, and one sister saw it as we were saved, and the other sister saw it as my family was murdered. My family was attacked.
Yeah.
And and just what happened on Bendok?
Yeah.
What happened? Brendok. I knew there was an R. What happened on Brendok? What happened on Brendok? And I really hope they don't wait until like episode 6 to tell us all the pieces of what happened on Brendok. Like, I really hope we get all the pieces by like episode 4. So that we can start processing. Because I feel like we need to find out what happened by episode 4. Then we need to process so that by episode 6, we can go fight the big bad. Like, that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
The pacing is so hard to get right in these 8 episode series. We were talking about this earlier, and we shouldn't go down this rabbit hole right now.
We shouldn't.
But
it's
going to be hard for them to land the pacing correctly, I think, unless they're just going like full on thriller and it's just all gas, no brakes the whole time. Which I'd be great with that.
Or they set up a season 2, which would be great.
That'd also be great.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'm not hopeful for season 2, but that would be really cool. So all that said, we're really excited, and we will be back next week reviewing episode 3.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? Were there anything you liked, disliked? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you like Pip? I thought Pip was super cute.
Let us know in the comments what was your favorite scene and who is your favorite character.
Who's your favorite character?
Or if you don't like any of them, which
then
I
tell
would
us
say
your least favorite scene and your least favorite character. One up you there. And it's Star Wars. Somebody's going to answer something.
Hey, if you made it this far in the video, please give us a like and a subscribe. Really helps us out. We're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to talk with more people and build a community of
join us.
Story-loving nerds and friends.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, yeah.
Bye. See you next time. Bye.